We're going to Tier 3 right now. Your number 4 overall quarterback, and I will tell the homies once again, there's only one quarterback for you in Tier number 3.
There's only one.
So we got a Tier 3 quarterback in a class by himself at number 4, and that is...
Well, this is where we're going, Anthony Richardson, Florida. Yeah, it's time. The freak, the beast, unleash the beast.
I don't
right
think
here.
people know he's a beast in his combine numbers, but the fact that he is 6'4", 244 too, he's bigger than some of these like defensive studs who are going to be in the draft.
He's Micah Parsons playing quarterback. I mean, he's a taller Micah Parsons playing quarterback.
Right.
He's crazy. He's a beast of beasts when it comes to quarterback position. You know, again, the only guy we've ever seen that's even somewhat built like this is Cam Newton. I mean, that's it. Cam Newton's the only guy. So he's one of one in that department. And then, you throw on top of, like, yeah, we know he's a great athlete, but he wants to be a quarterback. You can see that. This is not just like some athlete who they threw in at quarterback. This is a quarterback who's a great athlete who's just learning still to play quarterback and hasn't got to play a lot. It doesn't look like he's been taught a whole lot, mechanically or, playing recognition of the coverages, different types of plays. So he's at a raw point there. But, like, not as raw as I thought it was going to be. I will say that. It's less raw than Malik Willis last year, if that puts it into context. And, again, Malik couldn't run like this guy, nor this guy's arm is off the charts good. So it's a little all over the place here. And this is why he's in a tier by himself, right? Because the other three guys I look to be kind of like safer bets. Is there a little boomer bust here with Anthony Richardson? Of course. His ceiling is probably the highest ceiling in the draft. His floor, though, out of the guys we're going to talk to today, it might be the lowest floor, too. It could be that. But this is not like, crazy raw, like, wow, man, you're really taking a chance. Like I said, hey, there's some games and some plays where you go, man, his eyes are all over the place, and I'm not sure what he's looking at, and he's looking at the rush a little too much and all of that. But then there's other games where you go, I mean, he's on the money, and his eyes are right in the perfect spots, and every throw, or not every throw, but most throws are on the money, right? So, yeah, it's not perfect. You're not going to want to rely on him like you would Hendon Hooker or Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud to go, hey, we're looking to throw it 38 times today, and we need you to be 28 to 38 for 30. No, this is a guy where you get him on your team and go, we're looking to throw it 24 times today, and we want like maybe 8 rushes from you, and the threat of your rushes, more rushes, are going to open up other things, let alone, like we talked about, get some simple defenses, and you'll continue to develop into these looks as you develop into a better pocket passer and playing the quarterback position that way.
I mean, that's the big debate, right? Yeah. How low is the floor?
Yeah.
Because he obviously could be dynamic as a running quarterback, and we saw that with Justin Fields. I mean, not a great passing offense for Chicago, and Justin Fields has not excelled in that area, but he is one of the more dangerous quarterbacks in the NFL because of all that he does with his athletic ability. And man, part of me, and I mentioned this with Bryce earlier, and I don't think a whole lot of other people are saying this, but like the floor, right? Like whose floor is scarier if you're an NFL team? Is it Anthony Richardson? Is that he just can never figure out the quarterback position, process the game, and he's just a runner only? Or is it that Bryce Young is too small to play in the NFL?
I know. It's so you're asking me whose floor is?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just threw it out there.
Yeah.
But.
Well, I think probably his floor is scarier, right? I know.
Playing the position, just Bryce does so many things
Bryce
so well.
does everything right, the position-wise, other than, okay, I'd like to see a few more power throws, but then nothing of that. It's just a size thing.
Yeah.
Right?
But I'm saying, what if that's such a huge thing? The size is so limiting once he gets in the NFL that...
I know. Well, and that's where this is tough, and it's nitpicky to, like, know how much that's going to really affect him. Right? Like I was saying, that was one of the things that, I came away going, I'm not sure if this play is going to actually happen in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sure. So there is some of that here, and that's why this is a great time to debate and talk about all this stuff. But yeah, Richardson, there's definitely going to be some decisions where you're going, what the hell is he thinking there? And then, like, to my point is he needs to be taught a few things on how to use his body the right way in throwing the football. He has too many throws where you just go, like, first off, you go, whoa, amazing throw, and then you go, whoa, How did you miss that? Come on.
Yeah.
You're too good to miss that, right? And that's just because he's kind of getting it done with just pure natural ability. He has an incredibly flexible arm, like insanely. So he can not even use his body, and he just cocks his arm, and he can just slingshot at 65 yards. But where it hurts him is the placement of the ball at times, and especially on some of the shorter to intermediate throws. It can't be an all-arm throw all the time there. You got to learn how to use the body, make it more catchable for the guy there. Those are some things there. And then, of course, he watches the rush a little bit, not because he's scared, right? There's plenty of guys in this process where I go, this guy watches the rush because he's scared to death, and I can't stand that.
He wants to run, maybe.
Exactly. This guy's looking at it going, wait, anytime I've gotten pressure from this guy, I've gone around the edge and ran for 70 in my whole life. So I think I can do that here. There's just some of that.
Which goes hand in hand with the processing the game and the passing game, which you've talked about before with some quarterbacks,
right.
is that when you were that good athletically, you just haven't needed to process. It's like you have the ability. You could do it if you needed to, but you just haven't needed
right.
to.
You've always been able to go, hey, wait, when I got to get out of jail or get out of trouble, my legs are awesome. So I don't have to go look at, where's number 2 and number 3 and number 4, like C.J. Stroud does, who might not have the luxury of just turning the corner and running 60 yards, right? So, yes, it has to be a little bit of a learned process there. But he is not looking to scramble. That's the one thing. Like, to the point of at times where you go, would you scramble here? Stop sitting in the pocket, like trying to stay in Johnny quarterback position here and go. And I think he's trying to prove that point. But that's the one thing I got from the film is, there's real skills there. We know that. He wants to play it the right way. He does. And then I think when, that development will come, again, this is where meeting the guy, I wish I could meet him. I wish I could spend some time with him, because if he's the kind of guy where you go, okay, wait, I've been with this guy for a full day here. He's a good guy. He loves the game. I could tell he wants to work. He's going to work and get better at some of these things. Then you'd be less concerned about some of the things that we're worried about here in his game.
Yeah.
And then that's where the meeting in person and him getting up on the chalkboard and drawing out plays, that's going to be the last piece of the puzzle to instill confidence in some of these teams that he can do this.
Moose Maxwell 31 says to you, and you've mentioned already some of the raw prospects that we've had coming out in recent past. He goes, is Anthony Richardson farther along than other raw project quarterbacks like Jordan Love, Trey Lance, Malik Willis? Does playing in the SEC play in his favor? So you probably don't think those quarterbacks he listed there are necessarily similar, but as far as a raw prospect coming out, where does he rank?
I think he's less raw than Malik Willis. Or it's right on par with Malik Willis.
Okay. But with higher upside athletically.
Higher upside for sure. See, where he has a difference than all of these guys is just that, the quarterback design run game is going to be a real thing with him. Like a real thing. Not just like a once in a while type of thing. It can be a consistent, like, we got to worry about this part of their offense. With his size and, hey, he's great at... he can lower his shoulder, but he's great at not taking big shots that way, right? So, Lance, I like this kid's motion way better than Lance. And Lance played in a really basic offense that dominated and was allowed to run the ball and dominate people that way. But did Lance ever have in a game in college have a game like this kid did against Vanderbilt or like this kid did against Texas A&M? No. Where, pretty much throughout a whole game, it was just one big throw after another and picking apart, some pretty good players on defense on that side of the ball. So, there's a parts of his game that I would say it's less raw than Trey Lance's in some ways. It's close there. It's close. It's close to Trey Lance. It's maybe less raw than Malik Willis, and then Jordan Love. It's probably more raw than Jordan Love. If that answered the question.
Yeah, and you like Jordan Love more as a passer coming out.
I did.
Of the draft
Yeah,
too,
he had some things he had to work on for sure.
You were in love, kind of, with Love, who get a shot this year finally. So
right.
if you're a team in the draft higher up, are you thinking do you have to have a specific offense in mind for Anthony Richardson?
Well, I think so, to a degree.
So does that throw out some teams? Does that limit his
I don't think
possible
so.
landing spots?
I think it's an overblown topic. Now, one, like, Okay. Stroud goes to the Panthers.
Yep.
Young goes to the Texans. Number 4 sitting there is the Indianapolis Colts. Do I think it's crazy to, obviously I like Hendon Hooker, but do I think it's crazy for them to think like Anthony Richardson there with Shane Steichen, who just ran this damn offense with Jalen Hurts? No, not at all. And again, one thing that it's very Addie M 27. I love saying her name today, or his name, or whoever. Great listener, homie, homette, whatever.
Yeah,
is that where was I going to go with that? I blanked out on how I was going to finish that.
The running quarterbacks and success in the NFL.
Yeah, I've reevaluated myself from that question there a little bit, and that wait. These guys are showing they can develop a little bit quicker and better than I maybe gave them credit for, or maybe they could 20 years ago. So we're seeing quarterbacks get in the league and develop quick and fix some of these mechanical issues faster than ever before, and I think this guy's got it in him to do it. From what I've seen, it's a natural thrower, and like I said, he wants to play in the pocket and throw the football that way. It's just going to be, he needs more playing, more reps. But when you get in the NFL too, Ahmed, really sometimes it can become simpler, and more concise. Because, again, it's just like, hey, all there is football. There's no school. Hey, here's 10 plays. We're going to get really good at them, and then we're going to have the right formula off of them. It's like we talked about with, Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. It's hard to be right after a while. They got to answer for everything, even though it's not a ton variety of plays at one point early in the year. And then it expanded as we went along. But that's where it could be, and that's where he's going to have value. And, I want to make sure that I don't miss anything here. But
we can always go Colombo.
Yeah.
One more thing if you ever feel the need to do that.
Yeah, I mean,
at any point.
Hey, has a tendency to stay on one guy a little bit too long. At the end of the year, I started to see that disappear, though, more and more. Where, again, a big arm guy looking to lock onto a guy. I'm going to fit it in there. I'm going to fit it in there, right? Doing a little bit of that. But
no, I think you hit a lot
all.
of it there. And we will go ahead and react to the homies' reactions to your top 5 on Wednesday. So if there's anything that we leave out here today, we can go ahead and do that Wednesday.
Thanks for watching, homies. Hit subscribe to see all my Unbuttoned videos. You get to see me, Ahmed Fareed, all the big player breakdowns, game breakdowns, player interviews, and my film analysis. So please subscribe. Chris Simms Unbuttoned. Peace out.